Hey everybody, happy Saturday. I hope we are all awake, ready to start our business. Y'all forgive the edges. They was doing what they wanted to do this morning, so I just let them go, okay? Today we talking about drug screen collection. We are talking about blood collection. We're also talking about the difference in types of tubes that you are required to use when you are drawing blood from patients and you get a blood order. So let's get into it. You ready? Let's go. All right. So today I'm gonna start with my handy dandy hand sanitizer, okay? Because a lot of people, I'm just gonna say that's where we start, okay? That's where we start, okay? I'm just messing, y'all. I'm just messing. But this is the first thing that you want to have in your phlebotomy bag. Anywhere you go, traveling or being a phlebotomist, a mobile phlebotomist, you want to have some hand sanitizer. That's the most important start. The next thing you want to have in your phlebotomy bag, gauze. These are at Walmart. You can order them on Amazon. You can order them from medical supply stores. So make sure you have these. Okay. Then the next thing you want to have is alcohol swabs. So alcohol prep swabs are one of those things that you require to have because you have to be able to clean the site. So you want to make sure you're cleaning your patient's site before you draw their blood. The next thing you want to have in there are your handy dandy tourniquets. Now, your tourniquets are what you will be using to restrict or slow the blood flow down to the area in the vein and the site that you are choosing to collect from. So you're going to need these, okay? You can also get those little cloth ones that you can put up patients' arms. I like to use the sleeve just down above, just above the site, and then use that so it's not pinching once you put the tourniquet around on the patient's arm. I use this for my little cup to hold my needles in. These are straight needles. And on the side of your straight needles, it normally tells you like the gauge of needle that you're using. And these are 22 gauge needles. So this one connects to an actual hub that looks like this. So these are like the old school ones, and this is what my collection site actually provides for me. So I just use them. But it connects like this. And again, if you didn't see how it connects, you want to use that rubber stopper point, and inside that hub, it's a connection. You want to connect it like that and twist. Really simple. And then once you do, the needle is attached already. And then once you're complete with your collection, you just take that and lock it, and you're done. You don't want to stick your finger or anything else inside of there once you've collected your tubes, because that will then have the patient's blood on the inside, and that is considered a dirty needle. So you want to go ahead and dispose of that in your sharps container. The next thing you want to have bags, collection bags, to put your specimens in. And the most important thing you want to have in your bag, labels, patient labels. So once you're finished complete collecting that one patient, you want to make sure that that patient's name, date of birth, the time time you drew, as well as your initials of collection, is on there. So that way you will be able to identify that specimen once you get into that, or you're complete with that complete patient. So labels, make sure you have labels. Next thing you want to have, I also have the regular gauze in the little packs, so I don't have to always use those in my sterile packs. I use those for more of my sterile environments, and where I have to go into a patient's room and I have to gown up and things like that. That's what I use those for. So I use these for like patients' rooms. I can just walk in, put my tape on my hand and or my glove, and I'm out of there. Tubes. Now we're going to talk about tubes. The doctor has now ordered a BMP, and he's also ordered a CBC and a BNP. With those things being ordered together, what would you collect? If he's asking for all of that together, you're like, what in the world did he just yell out? What he yelled out was a complete blood count. He also labeled a basic metabolic panel as a collection, and he also added a BNP, a natropeptide. With that being said, here are the tubes that you want to collect. 2 lavenders and an SST. Now, you can go for the SST, the smaller ones, but most labs nowadays, they're requiring more serum because the analyzers have changed. So if you're in a smaller clinic and it's only something that's requiring a CMP or a complete metabolic panel or a BMP, a basic metabolic panel, then you'll want to use something just like this. That's all they're requiring, is just that little bit of serum. Now, the next question is, what order do you collect these in? Does anybody know? I'll wait. I don't want to give away all my secrets. You know what I'm saying? You got it. So if you're going to go ahead and collect a BMP, BNP, and a CBC, you're going to want to collect in that order. So here are your color tubes. You're going to want to head and get all of your essentials prepared. Once you prepare everything, make sure you have your labels for what you're asking for. So these would come in a normal doctor's office. These labels would come with the patient's name already on them, their room number, where their location is, the hospital, the doctor, and the time. You will add in the order, the date, the time, collection, and your initials. You complete all of those in your Rylus or in your mobile device, or you scan these labels, scan them in, and then you go about your day. Put them in the bag. Put your tubes, your labeled tubes, inside your bag, which I said I was going to use this one, this one, this one, and they're going to be labeled. Remember, each one has to be labeled. Do not take these samples down to the lab without labeling. Do not send them anywhere without labeling them. So you're going to label all 3 of those samples with what I told you before, patient identifiers. You're going to seal the bag, and you're going to move on to the next room. You never take double labels of another patient in one patient's room and another patient in another patient's room and put them together and get ready to go collect them. As phlebotomists, we make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. So it's best for you to understand that you need to separate and prioritize your draws, how they should be collected correctly. So when it comes to collection, when I say prioritize, if it's a stat, you need to go ahead and collect that now. If it is a routine, you collect that as soon as possible. If it is one of those time studies, then you want to make sure you collect that as close to the time as possible. You have a 15-minute window before and after that you need to make sure that that is collected within that time span. A lot of times, those need to be collected because the patient is waiting on medication levels and they need to know when they can administer, or if it's okay to go ahead and administer their next round of antibiotics or medication that they might be monitoring on a regular basis. So make sure that you know, you are sure with these patients what the identification is, what room number, who they are, where it's going, and what type of test you are collecting. If you have an issue, always ask. It's not a dumb question to ask. If you have any questions, you're always welcome to reach out to me. My name is Ebony the Black Butterfly. I always put my links in below. You can also find me on Spotify, to where you can find me pretty much everywhere. Facebook, my show is called The Table Talk. It's called The Circle. You are more than welcome to join. I give informative tips, tools, research information. I also help with exam study preps. Anything that you need to get out into the phlebotomy world, I'm really here to help. So reach out to me, and until next time, remember your CBCs and your BMPs. Remember where they go. Peace.